Oh, you might think you're doing good with your reviews and all that, and all I got to say to that is, you don't even know. You don't even know. Oh my God. Things are changing so much, guys. It's ridiculous. And I'm just glad, I for one am glad that we've got a guy on our team, Chris Johnstone, who's got his finger on the pulse of all this stuff. Guys, you just won't believe what you're about to hear. And it's all right. It's just, you just got to check it out. Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Garay, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals, here with Chris Johnstone. What's up, bud? How you doing, Chris?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, Frank?
I'm great, and I'm just blown away because we recently had a loan officer breakfast club Friday, where you're most of the time you're there on Fridays for us, teaching us about tech and AI and all this fun stuff. And you brought up this subject matter of the Google search and how that's changing, and just how things are just so rapidly changing, and on how businesses are getting recommended now is going to be completely different than what we're dealing with today. I know I, for one, was just dumbfounded by it. And I thought, well, get you on the podcast here in case people couldn't make the breakfast club. We get you on the podcast so you could kind of spill the beans with everybody, if you will, about how this is all working. And then in the end, maybe how our AI CRM can help out. But what's going on? Tell it. It's happening so fast. It's so, what? I don't even know where to begin here. Just go for it, man. Do your best to let these guys know what's going on.
I will do my best. I've been evangelizing technology in the mortgage industry for over a decade now. And I was one of the first to get on Google reviews and just really start to tell people how significant this was going to be. Like back when it was the 7-pack, and back when reviews would disappear all the time and then come back, and it was so janky, and it was that early technology model. And we were like, listen, consumers are going to go to this thing called Google. They're going to Google loan officer, and the people that get those reviews there now and get ranked in that search engine, they're going to generate a significant amount of business. Today, fast forward to, 20-ish% of the phone calls that come in from Google fund. It's the highest quality lead source in the industry, and it generates phone calls consistently almost every single day. And watch that technology for the last decade. And we're living through a tipping point right now that I believe has a magnitude of importance far greater than that with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is changing our world daily. And when we wake up 3 years from today, the highest quality pipeline of consumer direct mortgage leads is going to be 100% AI based. I am 100% completely convinced of it. And I'm trying to get everybody in the Mortgage Marketing Animals community to hop on this AI thing as fast as possible, because nothing changes the daily success plan. I believe that we will always get the majority of our business from our past customer database, realtor referral partners, and other referral partners, financial planners and attorneys and all those wonderful things. But there are 3 legs to the stool. There's database, there's referral partners, and then there's marketing and advertising. And if you want to win the marketing and advertising game, artificial intelligence is going to own that space in the next 3 to 5 years. So how do we do that? So there's 2 things that I would love to just kind of unpack on this podcast, because we only have so much time. Right. And again, every Friday on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, we go deep on just like marketing and tech and this sort of stuff. So if you're not, head on over to Loan Officer Breakfast Club, get in the group, and Fridays is Tech Nerd Day, marketing. And so the first thing is we already have clients that are funding deals by people going to ChatGPT, opening up the voice search and saying, who's the best mortgage loan officer in XYZ market? So we have a client of ours in Memphis. We have another client of ours in Tampa. And I believe we have a couple of other marketplaces that we've recently cracked within like the last 15 days. And so it has been said by the powers that be at Google and Bill Gates and all of these thought leaders that have all the data that tell them where the market is headed, anywhere between like 40%, and I believe the number is probably closer to 50% of all the searches that happen on Google today are going to happen inside of an AI powered voice assistant in the next 3 to 5 years. Because if you think about it, like Frank, you taught me that you can take ChatGPT, you can put it on the lock screen of your phone,
Right.
and you can just tap it, talk to it, get the answers that you want.
Yep.
And the thing that has convinced me that this technology is going to take over our consumers and how we buy things is the fact that today, when you go do a Google search, you ask it a question and it gives you a whole bunch of research points. Like, they're trying to get AI to deliver the answer, but really all it's doing is it's just like serving up information that it finds from one of the search results. But when you Google something, there's a second step that you have to take. You have to go read the websites that Google has given you in order to go through all of the information and make your own decision.
Right.
When you have an AI assistant that learns what you like, how you like it, your purchase history, yes, it's freaky, but come on. If at this point you think companies like Amazon and Google and Facebook aren't harvesting our data and serving us up individual advertisements for ourselves, like, that boat sailed. That's just
Right. Yeah.
If you're on the internet and you're buying things,
Yeah.
you have a footprint. So AI is going to know who you are, what you
Yeah.
like to buy, where you like to get it from, and these AI assistants get your search, have already read all of the websites, have already read the ratings and reviews from all the professionals. It's already done all of the research, and it can come back and have a conversation with you just like a Harvard educated, MBA powered assistant, and give you the answer to the question that you're asking. So that middle step of doing a Google search and having to do your own research to get to the answer, it's taken the middle out. And we all know that when you shorten the time to convenience, you win. And that's what AI is going to do. And that's why the majority of consumers are going to switch from doing Google searches to asking an AI-powered assistant where they should be buying their goods and services from and what loan officer they should be working with. So if you're a loan officer in today's market and you say, I want to go get those customers. When somebody says, who's the best loan officer for me to work with in your market, how do I get the artificial intelligence to recommend my business over a competitor?
Right.
Okay. So now we've got that. We want our businesses to show up inside the AI search. The way that you do that is by creating authority. And this is where it gets really interesting, Frank, because this is where you take the traditional SEO of like, hey, I'm going to go put information on the internet, build authority, get backlinks, create a blog, put content out there, build authority. And then social media, which is like, I'm going to try and create a following, create all this engaging content, get people to engage in the content, try and generate leads like that. So there's been these like two things, like search engine optimization is over here and social media is over here. If you want to rank on AI, you get to bring them both together. How do you do that? You use artificial intelligence to produce all of the content. So what we're doing is we're going to Google and we're saying, who's the best loan officer in, let's just say, San Diego, right? On the front page of Google, the AI feeds up this section that's underneath the map placement. Normally it's like 3 or 4 websites down, and it says people also ask. And that section of Google is actually full of the most frequently asked questions about mortgages in that particular local marketplace. So the front page in San Diego is completely different than Dallas, Texas, or Homosassa, Florida, right? Because people in different marketplaces speak differently. They ask different questions. They're different markets. They're different questions. So you go to your market, you look at that, and when you click on the first question, it just gives you more questions. You can also use traditional keyword research tools like Ask the Public, all kinds of tools out there. Just get it off the front page of Google. It's the best data.
Yeah.
And you take that question, and we have a 9-step prompt document that our team uses. But here's what you do. You go to ChatGPT or Gemini, and you say, okay, AI, we're going to answer this question for people in this local marketplace, and together we're going to produce the most valuable content that helps solve this problem for people the best way possible. So go out and do the research and find me the answer to this question. So AI goes out, scours the internet, brings back the answer to the question. So you didn't actually have to do any work, right? So you now have the answer. But what you also have is you have your unique knowledge and input, because you're better at mortgages than the AI is for now. And so you get to put your unique spin on it. And so you go, hey, that's great. Great research. Change it a little bit like this. Point 1, say this. Point 2, say this. Point 3, say this. All the other stuff is good. AI says, okay, great. Rewrites it, spits it back to you. Is this good? Yes. Okay, you've got the answer to the question. Now, turn that into a blog post that builds authority for this question. And that question is the #1 search that people are doing on Google. Voila, AI spits you out an amazing blog. If you don't like it, that's totally cool. The more feedback that you give to the AI on what you don't like about it makes it write it better the next time. Because every time you interact with it, it gets better. It learns how you speak, how you like to input the information, right? So you work with it and you give it this blog post. And when I say work with it, like, we're not digging ditches here, right? It's not like you have to go 8 hours in the sun, sweating it out. Like we're literally talking, typing. We're 6 minutes in at this point.
Right.
Like actually getting
at most, really. Yeah.
At most. So we take that and we say, okay, we got a blog. Now, write me a 60-second talking head video script so that I can shoot a YouTube video and explain this content to people. So now you got a blog post. Now you got a video script. Use Big View on your phone, or you go to an avatar type service like Synthesia, and you take that script, give it to an AI avatar to speak the words on a video, and all of a sudden now you've got a YouTube video. So then you go, that's amazing. Write me a YouTube video description and give me the hashtags to rank on the #1 question in your local marketplace about mortgages. Okay, great. So now I got a video. I can take that video from YouTube. I can embed it on the top of my blog. And I'm a vlogger. 2 minutes to take that, embed it. Once you do it once and you know what buttons to press, it's really not that difficult of a process. Or you can hire somebody on Fiverr to go do it for you. So now I got a video blog, and now we say, okay, what do we need? We need traffic. Well, based on this information, AI, go write me an email that goes out to my past customer database. Write me another email that goes to all the qualified real estate agents that I'm marketing to every week, and let them know that I've answered this question that they can send out to their customers. Write me a Facebook post, write me an Instagram post, write me a post for X, write me a post for LinkedIn, write me a post for TikTok. Voila, you have all of your social media content. So now what you've done is you've created all of this content to go on all of the different platforms so that you get this incredible footprint out there that you are now the authority online for that #1 question in your local marketplace, and you build all this authority. But then what you do is you go in and you go to share the chat that you just did with AI. So almost nobody knows about this at this point, but if you go up to the share icon inside ChatGPT after you've created a conversation and you click on it, it will pull up this thing that says, do you want to share this? And you click on copy link. As soon as you click on that, there's a little box that pops up and it says, do you want to make this content indexable by the search engines? And you click yes. And then you click save. And what you just did was you just took the entire conversation of you creating the most valuable content with artificial intelligence for the #1 most searched key phrase in your local marketplace, and you've made the conversation that you had with the AI to solve the problem searchable on the internet. What did you just do? You just indexed yourself within the artificial intelligence as the expert on that topic in that location. And that is the first step to ranking inside AI search. And I believe that that's the future. The more that you can give that content collaboratively with the AI and work with the artificial intelligence, like, think about a lawyer. Because it's different than a real estate agent, because conversations with attorneys are difficult to get, and you have to be a true expert in order for that attorney to feel comfortable sending you and referring you business, right?
Mm.
What's the best way to get an attorney to feel comfortable sending all their customers? Prove to them that you know what you're doing, right? They're not going to refer you business and they're like, okay, I send a customer over there, they're going to be taken care of because they're an expert, they know what they're talking about.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing with artificial intelligence. The more conversations that you have with it, the more collaboratively you work with it and teach it and train it that you're an expert in mortgages in this particular marketplace, and you use our prompt templates in order to say, hey, here's me, here's the keyword, here's all my information, here's why I am the best in this particular marketplace, and let's go create some more content together. You build that relationship with the artificial intelligence so that it will refer you. Now, there's ratings and reviews that you've got to get online, all this other stuff, but that's the first step. And I believe here we are 10 years later of me, waving the Google flag, and there's still very few people that do a really good job on SEO and getting local customers from Google. If you can really ingrain this in your business processes and you follow the daily success plan with the mortgage marketing animals and you do Monday through Thursday, making your calls and running your funnels, just like it's the fundamentals, it's where the business comes from. But then you stack on Fridays and you start working with AI and you start spending Fridays on working on your business rather than working in your business, you make a massive impact in a really short period of time. And I believe that that's the future to the highest quality consumer direct leads that exist.
That was about the easiest interview I've ever done in my life.
I'm sorry. I get in this stuff and
no,
it's just
dude, I was just like riveted the entire time. Like, I don't want to say anything. Keep going. Like, this is good. I do have one question though. So when you share your engagement with your GPT, right? So you have this engagement of creating this content, and then at the end you can tell it to make this accessible or indexable or whatever the case may be. Is that could like just some regular guy do a Google search and come across that conversation and read the conversation you had with chat?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
But what it's doing is, so AI is so hungry for information. Like ChatGPT has finished the internet, which sounds crazy, but it's literally scraped all the internet. They went so far as to build a tool that literally transcribed all the YouTube videos so that AI could read all of the videos on YouTube.
Wow.
And so they published these articles that are like, hey, we need more content, so we want you to work with the AI. And where they're pulling all of their new content from
these conversations.
Exactly. So I believe it's about the new questions that come into AI. They're pulling off of the conversations that AI is having about those topics as it learns. It's like the social media algorithms where like social media 2 years ago, they used to build this big user profile about you and just show you content based on like you as a user. If you go on and you start to interact today on social media with services like TikTok or TikTok itself, you'll notice that the videos and content that's being served to you is actually hyper relevant to what you've done in the last 24 to 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of feedback loop that AI is looking for. I want to know what this person is hyper focused on in the last 48 hours and delivering information to them on what I've learned in the last like short time window. And so it's going to be continuous. It's going to be ongoing. But if you get that footprint big enough and you're first to market, I think it's going to be really hard to displace the mortgage lenders that get that first mover advantage.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, man. My goodness. Here's the thing. You hear things like this and some might feel like it's just impossible for me to keep up with this and impossible for me to implement this, and I'm just going to get washed away in all of this. But the truth is, it's not impossible. You can do it, and there's ways to get done. You got to be connected to people who know what they're doing, right? And you have to be willing to put in some time to figure these things out, or at least work with people who can help you with these things, right? And so that's one of the big advantages to just, I would say, if you want to dip your toe in the water and start moving along, I could tell you this, thanks to Chris and the animals, man, I've come a long way with a lot of things, right? In this world of AI and the CRMs and workflows and all these things, right? And people tend to think that I'm a techie guy, Chris, and I'm not. I hate technology. I really am not a techie
Really?
guy. Yes, a new product, a new software, a new cloud-based thing just is like, ugh, I'd rather be electrocuted than get started on something new. You know what I mean? But I guess what I wanted to do is encourage everybody. You can do this. That you can get brought along. And I think the best way to start with, first of all, join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club, right?
100%.
LoanOfficerBreakfastClub.com. Join us there. If you're not there already, get there. It's free. And then be sure to attend the Fridays, of course, because this is where Chris is engaging with us and teaching us all this stuff and helping bring us along, as a group, as a group of people. But beyond that, if they just want to get directly connected, Chris, what's the best place, do you think, for them to, the listeners right now, to maybe engage to start learning more about this? Would it just be Loan Officer CRM.ai, or where else should we go? That a good spot to kind of
That's a great spot.
Yeah, if you get your foot in the door with the CRM, that's where Chris and company are pouring all of this AI interaction and integration into it to help us propel along on this journey. And then, of course, that coupled with Mortgage Marketing Animals, Loan Officer Breakfast Club, all of it together, you just you're in the right place. You're in the right place with the right people, getting the right guidance that you need. But man, oh man, it's so fascinating, Chris. Now I can share my conversations I'm having with AI to create my content, and now that's helping me become an authority. Because AI now is going to be telling me who the best loan officer is in Vacaville, California.
Yep.
Right. So it's fascinating. I tell you, man, and you're right. It really takes out the middle. The middle is gone now. You don't need it. I love the voice thing. I'm a guitar player, right?
Yeah.
And I have tube amplifier, old vacuum tube amplifier. That's what guitar player. You're a guitar guy, right?
Yeah.
So, and in my brain, my downtime, I'm thinking, wonder if I change this tube, what would happen? Or if I change that tube, what would happen? And I thought, I'm just going to ask, right? So I just engaged with my AI and I said, this is the amplifier I got. I'm thinking on changing this tube. I didn't know if I changed it from this tube to that tube, if it would do anything or if it would really help. Can you tell me? Dude came back with the most comprehensive answer, and the answer was yes. That would definitely, do what you're looking for, and decide, and blah blah blah. I was like, thanks. I didn't have to go online. I didn't have to search Google and read a bunch of websites and try to understand if it was the right. No, it's like, no, yeah, that's exactly right. You're right. That's what it do. Suggest you do this. Suggest you do that. And it's like, thanks. Did it right away, and you know what? Works great.
That's amazing.
It's just crazy. Taking out the middle is just so neat. And that's the way it's going to be with business search, loan officer search. It's the way it is. Hey, I'm in Vacaville, California to get a mortgage. Who should I talk to? Right. Yep. I recommend Frank Garay. Great. What's his phone number? Here's his phone number. Thank you. Hey, Frank. Heck, You'll be able to say, can you place a call for me and get him on the line? He's going to call for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Good stuff, bro.
It's wild.
It's wild. And it's fun. So I appreciate you being here, and thanks for filling us in, and hopefully people got a lot out of that. And I would just say, guys, join us, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Go check out the CRM, loanofficercrm.ai, loanofficercrm.ai. And if you want to learn more about the Daily Success Plan, dailysuccessplan.com. Do that. With that, we'll get on out of here. Chris Johnstone, always a pleasure. Appreciate you, brother.
Frank, thanks for having me on the show.
All right. For the rest of y'all, join us again here next week on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you. Bye-bye.